Hello and welcome to the show. This week's FailRace episode, we start with Rico on GTA 5. Already a fair amount of chaos has gone on in whatever they are doing here. However, things are about to go more wrong as a dying helicopter crashes into a bus, rolls over. We then have the Prometheus school of running away directly in front of said helicopter, and quite a spectacular death. Yeah, being chased by a dying helicopter is on the rather terrifying end of the spectrum. Inferno the Vox next on Just Cause 3 is minding his own business when one of the little side missions comes up. Gotta deliver a car to a petrol station. Decides the best idea is to let another AI car pull it when he didn't quite expect for his said car to then end up upside down. I also love how the little Fiat 500 I think is attached to just doesn't care that it's now pulling a supercar along on its roof down the road. Now, I don't think this is quite what the NPC had in mind when they said deliver car to petrol station. Didn't quite expect it to be dragged along on its roof, but there we go. Also, notice that said petrol station has its own weird occurrences going on. Vehicle is now the correct way up to be pulled the last few meters into the petrol station. I was really hoping as he pulled it in here that it would be released and go straight into a petrol pump and explode everything. Sadly, not quite the case. It misses, but I don't quite know what the parking job is that's going on here. People don't really take good care of their cars in Just Cause 3, although admittedly Rico tends to blow most of them up, so I can kind of understand to an extent, but still, that's not generally how you park at a petrol station. Bob Purple on Dirt Rally with, well, just a good old-fashioned roll. Sweden is a notoriously dangerous rally. All it takes is to clip the snowbanks ever so slightly, drag the car, and that Volkswagen is going for many a tumble. I think it's 7 or 8 tumbles in the end before coming to a rest. It does, though, land all of it successfully on its wheels. Not quite such a good old-fashioned style of rolling for Bryce for Knowles on NASCAR Heat 2 as, bouncing off of the car alongside him leads to a big chain reaction crash, and it's cartwheels and more cartwheels and twisting and flipping. The caution very much definitely out for a rather poorly vehicle. Although apparently, yeah, you definitely want that to be repaired. Franstuff on Assetto Corsa is racing a Toga. I'm not sure if it's against an AI or against a player in this one. Either way, the Audi behind has it go up the inside, can't get it stopped. It's across the inside curb, and that's enough to launch said vehicle onto its roof across the vehicle that we were riding on board with. Yeah, not the sight you necessarily want to have when coming into a corner. The estate car gets things a little bit wrong, but saloon car is all the way in the ditch and flipping and twisting and, well, yeah, bouncing its way across the circuit. Black and Red 81 on Project Cars 2, racing in an Indy car. Things go a little bit bizarre in this. It's the tiniest of nudges from the car alongside, breaks the front aero on the player's vehicle, and that's enough at that particular point in the circuit. It loses all downforce and just takes off. Really strange. It's not a big tap at all. You don't see any visual damage done to the car, but it's enough that the IndyCar will just launch into the air. It's a really rather violent crash, that one. Tiniest tap, and there goes all of the front downforce, apparently. Not what you want to have happen at 200 odd miles an hour. That Mudkip is also having issues with an open wheel. Hits the inside curb just enough to upset the vehicle. Not much margin for error at that particular corner, and then we're going to go skating along the road on the, well, I say on the roof, it's kind of half through the floor. In fact, the wheels still work for steering. My favourite bit of this entire clip, though, is as the car gets reset and put upright, there goes his wheel. The wheel actually makes it further than the car. It's a big smash into the wall. I think this is supposed to be Montreal, maybe an early version of Montreal, so all the champions claiming another victim. I love that the car can still be driven when upside down, but yeah, it's the one of the broken off wheels that somehow, I guess, gets collected by another car and just gets shunted and fired down the road, and there it is. It's off, it's wobbling its way, crosses the start-finish line as well. So much further than the player's car. Enlisted Aura on World of Tanks has spotted an enemy. I don't know whether the enemy tank's not powerful enough to penetrate the higher tier tank's armour or out of ammo, or either way, he's decided that they're going to bully said tank. It's a little bit stuck in this particular ditch, and then everybody kind of piles in to the area to join in. Everybody decided, because it is doing damage, it will kind of effectively take out this tank. It's quite a mean tactic. I will be honest, another one joins in. It's basically taken 5 of them to take out said light tank. It's not the most efficient, but perhaps the more entertaining way until it does eventually end up exploding. Paddy Fancy on race 07 with a derpy AI up ahead, swerving and weaving all the way over the racetrack, trying to rejoin until eventually the Nissan plows into the side of the Renault. They do get back going again, but the player gets screwed over quite a lot. This is on board Ford further back. Don't know what earth the Nissan is doing. It's definitely a highly unsafe rejoin here, as it almost launches the Laguna onto its side and over. Not quite, but yeah, the car in third just runs too deep into the chicane, and in trying to rejoin doesn't really know where on earth he's going. It's all the way across the track and then back again. The Renault kind of helps tip him off the circuit and then back into the middle of the field. The black and white Renault nearly going over. The Vauxhall gets a swipe as well. It's a big old mess. And finally, we have a neon UFO on Beam NG Drive, just messing around in a truck when, in an attempt to make a car flag, said truck bounces off of the tree. But it is one of the most impressive chassis damages I've ever seen, because while it has bent the truck completely in half, it is still perfectly drivable. It's not the easiest to drive, and sure enough, if it hits something, it tumbles over almost immediately. But the completely bent up chassis, and the truck is still working. I couldn't do that if I tried, to be honest with you. It's a brilliant crash damage for this one before it wipes out on another tree. So, yeah, that's well done. Well done indeed for that. That is going to be it for this episode. I do have some good news for those of you submitting clips. Finally, Forza 7 clips are now appearing on the various Xbox Clips websites. So whether it be xboxclips.com or Xbox DVR, that are my preferred go-to sites for getting clips from. Your recorded footage from Forza 7 will now be appearing on there. I don't know why it wasn't initially. I don't know why it took so long to get working. It's not been something I've ever seen with other games, but that will now appear, so you can get those clips. Thankfully, so you will probably be seeing more Forza 7 a few weeks down the line. Also, a big thank you to Heiko for the liveries of the cars updated onto Forza 7. We've got a Mazda MX-5 Super 20 as well for these kind of background generic FailRace image cars. They are fantastic vehicles, so a big thank you for the work with them and getting them over to Forza 7. That, though, is going to be it for this episode. If you have clips you'd like to submit to the series, you can via our forums. Link in the description. At the very top of the page is the FailRace clip submission section, and in there you can find all of the rules and how to submit them. But that's going to be it from me. Until next time, goodbye.